Guys, you can't do a video on China and not show off the pandas. It's a rule. So I want to throw something out there for discussion because I've been watching it with real fascination, and that's China's treatment of Bitcoin. I'll be honest, when Bitcoin first came out, one of the reasons that I stayed away from it, and I'll do a video on this at some point, was I thought for sure that the U.S. government would do everything they could to crack down on Bitcoin. Okay, they've never taken kindly to competing currencies. Okay, and I thought Bitcoin would, fall along those lines. And I was shocked when I saw that it was actually China that was cracking down on Bitcoin, that they were putting restrictions in place to limit Bitcoin for their people. So just to kind of give you my stance, I've felt for a while now that at some point, well, first of all, I think that China resents our status as the world's reserve currency. Okay, it obviously gives us a huge advantage. And I've always felt like at some point they want to do a power play. And I think that they would like to replace us as the world's reserve currency, either with their currency, which could potentially be backed by gold, or a basket of currencies. I think that that's the move. Now, can they execute it? That's another question. Obviously, their one-child policy has put them in a tough spot just because of demographics issues. Now, just recently, they're trying to reverse that, but is it too little too late? Okay, obviously they have horrendous pollution problems. Their growth has come at a cost. And also, you can't trust their GDP numbers, right? The ghost cities is a clear-cut example of them inflating their GDP numbers. So the question of what they want to do and what they can do, that's the big question mark, right? But recently, the People's Bank of China, they're not allowing financial institutions to sell, trade, or store Bitcoins. Okay, that was the first shot across the bow against Bitcoin that caused it to drop from about 1150 or so down to around 800. Okay, which at the time was a pretty quick, swift drop. But you know what? Bitcoin was so volatile, it kind of just looked like just more volatility. And then just yesterday or the other day, China's largest exchange is now no longer accepting deposits in yuan. Okay, making it very difficult for the Chinese people to put their money into Bitcoin. So the question is why? Now, their official response has been, we're concerned for people. There's no protection. There's no consumer protection here. There's no, whatever the Chinese version of FDIC is, deposit insurance. And so, the people aren't protected, which sounds a little fishy to me because China's never really come across as very concerned about consumer rights or protections, okay? There is also some speculation that, China has such tight currency controls on the yuan, and that they're worried about people circumventing, those controls by using Bitcoin. Okay, that's a little bit more reasonable. But, personally, I feel like they're trying to nip this in the bud before it becomes greater because they have bigger plans for their own currency. So give me your thoughts, guys. I'm curious what you think, if you've even given it any thought. But it's a story that I'm watching with fascination because, I honestly believe that I was surprised. I thought China would embrace Bitcoin and that the U.S. would be fighting it with every fiber of their being, and it was actually the exact opposite. So it caught me by surprise. Give me your thoughts.